Coming up in the news, we have an update tonight on the nurses sick out in Abaco. Also, residents of back of town taking police to task for an alleged home invasion.
What is the reason you're ambushing a 66-year-old lady house? The neighbors around here are telling them no one lives here. The house is under renovation.
And a man wanted for rape now in police custody. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shoshana Wolf-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, some nurses at the Marsh Harbor Clinic in Abaco not showing up for work again today. President of the Bahamas Nurses Union Association, Amanda Williams, says the morale is low among the nurses at the clinic. And one thing is for sure, while she did not call their absence a sick out, she says that the nurses are sick and tired of working in unsanitary conditions, and she's asking for someone to hear their cry.
At the end of the day, we can't call it a sick out. We can't call it persons who are literally not feeling well. Nauseous, nauseous in stomach. After sitting in a clinic with a suicide all day, headaches and so forth. Persons don't want to work in that type of conditions. We have not gotten any verbal update on it. We've gotten a message. I've gotten a message this morning from the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Health stating that the Director of Nursing and Miss Charlene Bain is dealing with the issue, and that's it. We haven't heard from the minister. We tried to get in contact with these various persons by phone. No respond, no communication at all. And the PS in her text stated that we will get an update. Still up to the day, we don't have an update.
Now, we were unable to get a comment from health officials about the apparent sick out and health concerns in Abaco. In other news, 2020 was a challenging year for the Bahamas Air Sea Rescue Association on Grand Bahama, with no major fundraisers due to the pandemic and a busy year of rescues for the organization. The chairman says their goal for 2021 is to boost membership and raise funds. Jamila Mizik reports.
Chairman of Basra Grand Bahama, Eddie Wan, says despite the COVID-19 pandemic, 2020 was a busy year for the organization. And unfortunately, whenever Basra is busy, it means a life could be in jeopardy. The chairman says throughout the year, there were a number of successful rescues out of Bimini and Grand Bahama. But one of their most recent searches, a vessel leaving Bimini for the U.S. with more than 20 persons, proved unsuccessful.
We don't know. They might have made it. Don't know. We know we didn't find them. And again, well over 100 hours between Basra's airplanes, and I did say airplanes because we had 2 or 3 of them up there. Coast Guard was out there quite a bit, and also the Air Force joined in the search. Plus, Coast Guard had cutters and boats, and it's just, there was no sign of them.
Juan notes that the biggest setback for Basra Grand Bahama in 2020 were financial challenges.
Out of the 100 hours, we probably flew 15 or 18 of them. And then you start racking that up at $300 an hour for an airplane that we have to pay the pilot in his airplane, because we don't physically own an airplane. We have to rent. Luckily, they don't charge us full-fledged for the airplane and the pilot, just kind of charge us cost. And so, yes, of course, finances is our biggest setback right now. If we come out and pull you in, at least cover our fuel, help us out, because it's not easy. You know, we're hurting from COVID as well. We couldn't have our major fundraiser. You know, that normally nets us enough money to push us through with the fuel and oils and what have you to go on these rescues. We didn't get it last year. And I'm not sure we're going to get it this year.
Juan says despite the challenges, the work of Basra never stops, and they will continue to assist persons because they enjoy helping the community. He says their aim this year is to raise funds for the organization and boost membership. However, they will continue to push the message of safety first.
Don't go out there if there's 10-foot seas. Don't go out there to try and go 50 miles and you only got 20 miles worth of fuel in your boat. Don't go out there without your life vest, without radios, without communication, without family members, somebody knowing now, okay, I'm leaving here at this time, I'm expecting to be here at this time, this is the course I'm taking, and then stick to it. Don't change your mind halfway through it. Make life easier on us. Take your anchor on the north side. I mean, there's anywhere you're out there, you can drop anchor if something happens to you, but you got to have an anchor to drop it. Little things, the safety precautions, all the life vests, everything that you need. It's just, it's precautionary, but you need them. God forbid something goes wrong, you'd rather have it than not have it.
Shamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears, the police under fire tonight from residents of the back of town community. The residents are accusing police of unfairly targeting a home in that area, and they are now calling for answers. Jay Philippe has more.
A resident in the back of town is concerned with recent actions of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. According to neighbors, 5 police vehicles pulled up on the front lawn of the home that has been unoccupied for a while. According to Chantel Hall, the daughter of the owner of the home is now demanding some answers from the police.
What is the reason you're ambushing a 66-year-old lady house? The neighbors around here are telling them no one lives here, the house is under renovation, but they still went inside. Now my question is to them, why? Why this house has been targeted to whatever crime or criminal act they are looking for, and at the end of the day, no one is saying nothing to us.
She says after she got a number of calls from concerned neighbors in the area, she then went to the police station to get clarity.
I went to the police station and I spoke to the lady behind it, didn't get a number, and I said I want to make a complaint about what had happened. She told me that, ma'am, at this time, we cannot take anything from you. You have to go upstairs and records tomorrow, which will be today. My thing is, the event happened yesterday. She couldn't take nothing from me. She didn't give me no assistance at all.
These neighbors say they attempted to alert the police that no one has been living in the home for more than a year now.
As I was cutting my trees in the yard, I saw 1 car, 2 car, 3 car, 4 car, 5 car, and I was counting them as they come in. And they passed straight, and they stopped right to Miss Hall place where nobody lived from hurricane. And after that, I saw 1 policeman prying up the window, the next one holding the policeman, I pushing him through. I stand right there and I watch all of that.
You don't mind them coming and doing their job in the right way. But when ain't nobody home in the residence and they take it upon themselves to jump in your window, that could be a serious sin, because post Miss Hall was here. Let's just say she was in the bathroom having a shower and then near the police or, and just see someone with mask coming through a window. She could have a heart attack and die, God forbid, So this ain't no jokey matter. And this ain't the first time we had an incident like that in this residence where police come and just push gun in your window and tell you, open the door, without even sharing your warrant. It's ways to do things.
The concerned daughter says the police fell short in their investigations before forcing their way into her parents' home.
Did they investigate that Mr. George Hall no longer lives? He doesn't walk this earth. That's my father. Do they know that my mother is 66 years old, hasn't been in this house from Dorian, which she got devastated out of? I mean, did they investigate all those things before they take their time to take that window out, come in here with guns and wonder in her house? Did they find all that out? It's what I need to know. This is my mother. And I need to know that this whole community around here, our neighbors, they are very concerned. If they wasn't concerned, they would have never called none of us to come here. And they called, not one, I had like 10 calls from basically family members and friends around here letting us know what was going on. So my thing is, I need to know why. What is the reason this house was targeted with a 66-year-old widow living in? I need to know that.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jay. Well, we contacted Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Teresita Pinder for comment on the claims made by the back of town residents.
Officers from the Central Detective Unit, acting on intelligence and armed with a search warrant,
did enter a home in the community known as the back of town, that's Clark Avenue, where a suspected fugitive wanted by New Providence was believed to be at that residence. Officers searched the home, and the wanted fugitive was not found at that residence. However, bear in mind the officers were armed with a search warrant, and bear in mind that we do have a number of wanted fugitives who are considered armed and extremely dangerous. That is being sought by the officers of the Central Detective Unit in New Providence and one here in Grand Bahama. It is our duty to make check of all intelligence that may come our way to ensure that we seek out these wanted fugitives. And that is the reason why that home, the officers went to that home.
Well, a joint operation by law enforcement officials resulted in the arrest of 12 illegal migrants in Lewis Yard. Police tell us that the officers of the Immigration Department, Drug Enforcement Unit, and officers from the Mobile Division, while acting on information yesterday, went to an apartment complex in Lewis Yard where they arrested 12 illegal immigrants, 10 adult Haitian nationals, and 2 adult Jamaican nationals. They were all handed over to the Bahamas Department of Immigration for further investigations. Meantime, a man wanted by police for rape and for the possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition is in custody today. Police issued a bulletin for Antonio Green, aka Richard Newbold Jr., alias Junior, this morning. Police now say Green of Simple Village 8 Mile Walk was arrested in the area of SC Boodle Highway in Murphytown this afternoon. Stay with us. We will be back right after this.